Online dating is an incredible thing in the sense that it allows people to meet other people for dating in a way that they otherwise may have never met. These are people that they may have never come in contact with in real life, and it's becoming more and more popular and is used more widely across the world. One of the downsides to online dating, though, is that the scammers and the fraudsters know that this is a perfect portal for them to meet people who may be vulnerable to some of their techniques. I'm Marchant Johnson with Love Life Coaching, and since 2010, I've been privileged to help incredible single women around the world meet and attract the right man for a loving, committed partnership, relationship, or marriage. In today's video, I'm going to help you to look for 7 key signs that may be an indication that the person on the other end may not be dealing with you in good faith, or who may even actually be what we call a catfish, pretending to be someone else, or may have ill intent in terms of being a scammer or a fraudster. Because I want to protect people out there from this type of harm. Sadly, not too long ago, I had a conversation with a woman, and the woman could hardly speak because she was so incredibly devastated because she had been taken advantage of financially in a very, very significant way, in a way that she will never be able to recover from an online dating scam. And as she described how sophisticated it was, it really, really made me want to put this video out to help people to protect themselves from this type of activity. Because unfortunately, under the right, or shall we say wrong set of circumstances, even people that are very intelligent and wise can be vulnerable. People tend to be a little bit more vulnerable when they're very lonely, or when it's maybe been a long time since they've had attention from someone that seemed interesting, and initially this person might look really attractive online. But I want to tell you 7 key things that I want you to be aware of and watch out for as a starting place to help protect you from these online fraudsters, because I don't want this to happen to people out there. It was absolutely heartbreaking to me to speak to this woman and to hear her story, and the level of sophistication in the way that they took advantage of her was unbelievable, especially with AI and deepfakes and some of the things that can happen now online. People can become very vulnerable. Okay, let's dive into our 7 things. The first thing is that I want you to be aware of and watch out for is if someone seems too good to be true. So what do I mean by this? Well, sometimes these individuals will steal the photographs and the profile pictures from other people's social media, maybe celebrities, or maybe individuals who are very, very good looking or appear to be very wealthy. And a lot of times they're very polished and almost perfect kinds of photographs that these scammers have taken from the real individuals' profiles and have put out there to represent themselves, even though that's not who's behind the pictures. So in other words, they're using other people's photographs and images fraudulently, and sometimes even their videos and other things like that, in a way that can make them look real. And if you're looking at pictures online and they appear to be like a little bit too perfect, or something just doesn't make sense in terms of, like, in real life, would this be the kind of individual that you would likely date or connect with? You know, is this someone that's, 20, 30 years younger? And that's probably, in most cases, not who you're going to likely connect with in real life. If it seems too good to be true right from the beginning, it probably could be too good to be true. So you might want to watch out for that. The second thing is, a lot of times these individuals claim that they have some kind of high risk or overseas job. Maybe they're working on an oil rig. A lot of people represent themselves as being military people, somewhere overseas, kinds of jobs where they have to be out of communication for long periods of time, or, it's a dangerous job where they say they don't always have access to internet and things like that. And this can be kind of a cover, because a lot of times these individuals kind of make themselves out to be heroic, military people who are doing some kind of dirty or dangerous job. Sometimes they'll claim to have a big inheritance coming or a lot of money in the bank or a lot of resources, but their money is tied up for one reason or another. Like they have these elaborate stories a lot of times. And those kinds of things can definitely be a warning sign. A lot of engineering or oil rig type jobs or military or things like that. And they represent themselves to be this way. This is mainly the men that represent themselves to be this way. For men that are interacting with women, a lot of times the women that the photos and images that they're putting out there of the women are like model-like. They might be the kind of women that are like internet sensations on one portal or another, a lot of times very beautiful and a lot younger and very sexy and that sort of thing. So you got to watch out for the stories and the images and seeing if this all makes sense and if this is likely someone that you would actually like meet and date in real life, right? Red flag number 3, they often claim to be widowers or recently divorced, widows or recently divorced. Like, in other words, a lot of times they have kind of sympathetic stories, kind of sad stories, and they can tap into your emotions and your feelings. And a lot of times they'll claim to be in custody of a child or the now surviving parent of a child or the providing for the child. So a lot of times they'll evoke sympathy from the person on the other end with that. And that's something that can kind of pull at the heartstrings. And so people can start feeling an emotional connection or a sympathy for them in a way that you might not otherwise feel. Okay, now red flag number 4 is they start to express intense feelings of love early on. See, here's the thing. In real life, what we know is that it takes time to really establish a relationship and to really fall in love with someone. Yes, we can feel intense feelings of attraction. We can feel intense feelings of lust. We can feel excited about someone. We can feel like we really like someone. But until we really know someone, we can't really be in love with them or be planning a life with them. But a lot of these people that are perpetuating these scams come on really strong initially in the early stages, and they start really expressing their love right away and how you're the one for them and how they're so attracted to you. And a lot of times they'll use beautiful and flowery and romantic language and say things like they've never felt this way before. You're the one for them. They might even start saying that they want to plan a life with you, plan a life together. And you might start feeling like you're developing feelings for this person that you haven't even met in most cases. And a lot of times when you haven't even had a chance to actually even speak to them or see them on video. And that's another thing that I want to say is a lot of times these individuals are very reticent to actually speak by video or by phone. That's red flag number 5, because they don't necessarily want you to hear their voice. Maybe they're going to sound like they have an accent that is different from where they've represented themselves to be from. Or on a video chat, they're not necessarily wanting you to see their face. But you do have to be aware that with these deep fakes, in some cases, they can almost make the video appear as though it's the person they're representing themselves to be. So there's no real substitute for time in a relationship and really getting to know someone and having a chance to have in-person time and interactions. Be sure not to jump too far ahead in your feelings before you've had a chance to really have a chance to meet someone in person and interact with them. So a lot of times these individuals will, instead of wanting to do phone chat or video chat, will want you to communicate via email, off whatever dating site you may have connected with them on. Or sometimes people even meet on sites like Facebook or LinkedIn. It wasn't even necessarily an exclusive online dating portal. So you just have to be really careful about thinking you know someone and thinking you have a connection with them until you've actually met them and spent time with them. We learn who someone is based on patterns over time and based on our interactions with them over time. There needs to be some in-person time before you really can say that you know and love someone in a way that would lead to a relationship, a lasting relationship. So going along with this false sense of intimacy that sometimes they try to force, or that happens so fast or so soon, where they're kind of almost virtually sweeping you off your feet. Red flag number 6 is they propose that they're building a life with you. They're going to marry you. They might even start calling you their wife or their husband. They start acting like they're all caring for you in terms of asking questions like, have you eaten today? Have you slept? How are you, my love? These are loving things that a real partner would do. And so they're like feigning this kind of caring and concern for you when they don't even really know you. And ultimately, what many of these individuals are trying to do is develop an emotional connection where you feel like you're in a real relationship with them. And this is how they begin to set you up to take advantage of you. And so this pattern can go on for a period of time, sometimes a long time, before they actually start asking for personal information or start asking for money. But that is red flag number 7. When they start asking for personal information, like bank account information, driver's license information, passport information, credit card information, or they start asking for financial help. A lot of times it will start out with small requests, like small gift card amounts, that sort of thing. But then oftentimes it'll become, they'll have these additional crises or problems or need help or support in one way or another, and sometimes start asking for larger amounts of money. And sadly, many individuals have lost thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to these kinds of schemes once they feel like they're in a relationship with someone. They also can sometimes say they're going to help you and they want your bank account information, and they might even temporarily transport some money into your account, put some money into your account. And you have to be really careful about these kinds of things too, because you can more or less unknowingly become like a money mule, or they'll get access to your account and start taking money out of your account. So you have to be incredibly careful about the kind of information that you share with these individuals, no matter how much you feel like you might be in a relationship with them. And I know for many people, they say, well, I'm way too smart for this. But sadly, like I said, many of us can be vulnerable under the right or wrong situation, circumstances. Very intelligent people are sometimes caught up in these kinds of situations and have ended up losing a tremendous amount of money. And that is incredibly painful. Many of the people that are losing money are people that are retired or who are living on a limited budget or Social Security and don't have time to recover financially from a huge loss like this. People have even sold their homes or properties or cashed out their 401k plans or retirement plans to provide money for these individuals on the other side of the scam. So what I'm saying is trust your inner guide, trust your inner wisdom. And if something feels off, do not ignore that. If something says this is not quite making sense, if there's inconsistencies in their story or inconsistencies in terms of who they're representing themselves to be, or part of the story just sounds a little off, don't ignore that. Don't ignore those messages, because we are given that inner guide for a reason, to help us to protect ourselves. You have not only the right, but the responsibility to look out for yourself when it comes to these individuals that you're meeting online. Remember, sometimes online can create kind of a false sense of intimacy that's not really there. These individuals need to have the opportunity for you to get to know them to make sure they deserve a high priority status in your life. So do not, under any circumstances, fall for this or give money to someone that you don't know online. Another thing you can do when it comes to the pictures is if the pictures seem a little off or too good to be true, you can do a reverse image search. You can just do a search here on YouTube or a Google search, and you can find out how to do a reverse image search. And oftentimes you can identify that maybe the profile pictures are not actually of who they're saying that they are. If you know for a certainty that someone is asking you for money and you're on an online dating platform, you want to report that profile to the online dating site for suspicious behavior, because that will help protect other people as well that they may be communicating with. Overall, trust your inner guide, trust your inner wisdom. If something's telling you something's off, make sure that you pay attention to that. And make sure to never send money online to someone that you don't know. You need to be really careful about that always. Be sure to keep your personal information offline, like your work address, your home address, your financial information, all of those kinds of things so that you can protect yourself from these online scammers. Now, if you've enjoyed this video and if it's been helpful, or if you have other tips, feel free to leave those in the comments and leave a like here. And also be sure to check out the links in the description below. I have a couple of fun things for you. One is if you're looking to meet someone for a real relationship, to have the love of your dreams, then I encourage you to click on the link below and get access to my class called The First 5 Steps You Need to Take to Meet Your Mr. Right. That's available for you. And also 10 Secrets About Men Every Woman Needs to Know. This is a conglomeration of wisdom that I've gained from interviewing hundreds of men over the years, even though I work with women in my business. This has allowed me to help women understand what's going on in the minds and hearts of men. And be sure to check out the additional resources on my site, lovelifecoaching.com, for additional resources and support. And all of the links will be in the description below. I thank you for watching. And I plead with you to be aware when you're online. Be aware in any circumstance, whether it's dating or other activities online. Be aware that this is a multi-million, billion-dollar industry out there of these fraudsters scamming people. And I want you to protect yourself. Be wise, be smart. I'm sending you love and blessings and joy and love in your life. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe and leave a comment below. Take care. Bye for now.